Hey, what's going on, everyone? MONADO Max here, and we are back with another Nintendo Direct prediction video. Now, the thing that's interesting about this is we actually have a confirmation that a Nintendo Direct is happening in June, but the weirdest thing is we don't know when it's happening in June. Nintendo had their investors meeting about a week ago. Whenever this video comes out, probably weeks later. But they had their investors meeting, and they had told the investors that there will be a Nintendo Direct in June that will focus on the second half of the Nintendo Switch lineup. They actually sounded pretty confident with this Nintendo Direct and the lineup that they have this year. So I think we're in for a very interesting Direct. Could be one of the last big Nintendo Switch Directs out there. It could be the last Switch Direct in general. I think this is going to be a very special Direct nonetheless. And I brought the squad with me. Almost all the original people. J. Matthew couldn't make it. He was busy. But that's okay. That's okay. Starting off, I'm bringing him back. Ty, it's been crazy to see you in the videos now because you're now back making content. How are you, Ty?
I'm doing great. I've been trying to make more content. That's my every time you introduce me, I'm always like, I'm gonna make more videos. But thank you for having me. I have been making a lot of stuff, a lot of shorts and reels and stuff. But it's good to be back. We
brought the editor himself. The ones that many have asked me in the comments, who is this person that I refer to in the YouTube videos? Even though I thought it's been pretty obvious who he is. We brought him on so you guys could hear his voice, get a nice, however long this video is going to be, an idea who he is. We have Editor Coleman with us.
Hi, guys.
Wow, that wasn't the greatest intro I was expecting, but okay, all right, that's fine, Coleman, that's fine. You can do your thing. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a Direct predictions video if I didn't bring the person that I believe has been in every Direct predictions video, any type of prediction video I've done in terms of bringing people on. I'm pretty sure he's been here every single time. That is Itachi.
Hey guys, that's me. I have been in every one. Even the one where it was a live stream where we talked about, like, at the time we thought it would be the Switch Pro. If you remember.
Ah, yes, the Switch Pro. That's the one thing
that existed.
No, it didn't. No, I always said it wouldn't exist, and I was right. Everyone laughed at me on the TieCast, but who ended up being correct? This guy right here. All right, guys. So obviously, I think this Nintendo Direct is very interesting since we're so early into May and we already know its existence. I mean, I think all of us knew we would get a Nintendo Direct because that's the Nintendo thing. It's just so weird to have the announcement a whole month in advance and still not knowing when it actually is. I don't know when this Direct is going to air, but I feel like it's safe to say it's not going to happen the week that Luigi's Mansion comes out. And I know last year, if Nintendo was trying to repeat history, last year's Nintendo Direct was like the 23rd, 24th, I think, something like that. I remember because I was leaving out for Pennsylvania the day that Direct happened. So I don't think they're going to do a Direct that late. I think they might do the Direct around in the middle of June, the June 17th, 18th, around that range is what I'm thinking. But I have an interesting list of predictions out here. I have really took the time and effort to make a strategic list here. Not something like hopes and dreams. I went out of my way to look at the history of Nintendo, look at all the weird things that Nintendo does, all the goofy things that Nintendo has made. And I think I have come up with a list that is going to satisfy their investors, satisfy everyone who owns a Switch right now, because they're not going to be bringing out anything too crazy in the second half since we have the next Nintendo console coming out next year. I don't think they're going to bring anything big, like big releases. I think it's going to be a lot of spin-offs, remasters, that type of stuff. So, starting off, I'm throwing an out there one, but just hear me out, Coming up, number one on my list is we're going to see a GameCube remastered game. And what is that GameCube game that's going to get remastered? It's going to be none other than Eternal Darkness. Okay, now, I know everyone's like, wait, what? Max, you just said you're not going to throw any out there predictions. This is a wild prediction, Max. Okay, well, hear me out. A lot of Nintendo's releases over the last year has been out there remasters, remakes, whatever you want to call this. You had like Advance Wars, you had Another Code Recollection, You had Endless Ocean wasn't a remake or remaster or anything, but you unexpectedly had an Endless Ocean game. I feel like Nintendo is going to capitalize on the fact that there's this whole good big GameCube library that everyone loves. They're going to look at Eternal Darkness. That's a highly praised game. Halloween is coming up. October, I think this could be Nintendo's October release. It'll be a remastered, nothing too crazy. I can see this being one of those games that Nintendo wants to put out because they don't want to have any like big games that could really do well on the Switch 2. They want to put some stuff out there that wouldn't do crazy numbers on Switch 2. And I don't think Eternal Darkness is going to be one of those games that would do absolutely crazy numbers on either console here. So I think Eternal Darkness is the perfect game to remaster and put out for the Switch into the second half of Nintendo. Ty, you are up.
Max, I have to say I love that prediction. Because I was thinking that this is kind of a low-hanging fruit rest of the year where they're going to try to maximize the diehards and at the same time expand to this is their largest install base that they will ever have in this console. And so I think Eternal Darkness is perfect because it is. I think they're going to do a lot of remakes, remasters over the next 6 months, and that one I would be thrilled. That's the one where you're like going crazy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember I sold so many copies of that when I worked at EB. So yesterday, at the time of filming, Nintendo dropped new Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy games. One of them being baseball, which I had as a young lad, and I played that to death. I loved that baseball game. I think all the rumors from last year of a Mario baseball game were not unsubstantiated. I think we're going to get even possibly like a shadow drop of a Mario baseball because we're getting we're right in the middle of baseball season right now. I would not be surprised if we get either like a quick release or something with a Mario baseball. There was another prediction that I know someone else is going to say, but I wanted to get my baseball one out there because of the timeliness of the Nintendo Switch Online baseball Game Boy game drop. And I agree with you, Max. I think they're gonna be reaching back hard into the history of Nintendo. I think I think that's going to be a big thing for the next 6 months.
Baseball, that was one that was leaked last year. I think that's a good possibility.
I think it still exists.
I mean, Nintendo is very confident. I was reading their statements at the investor meeting. They clearly have a very decent second half for them to think that they're going to beat the PlayStation 2. Because they're I think 14 million units away from the Switch becoming the biggest home console ever. And they expect to hit that. And I think having something like a Mario game, they have to have something big but not too big to want to reach another extra 14 million units. Because that's going to be really hard to hit when people are already expecting a new console in less than a year. So I really feel like there's some really crazy, unexpected things that are supposed to sell Switches, and I could see the baseball with it being Mario. That could be a system seller right there for some.
Or any Mario sports. I'll say baseball because that's the one that's the most obvious, but it could be a different Mario sports. But I think baseball. I think that's an easy high volume seller.
Coleman, you are up.
Who owns Eternal Darkness?
I believe it is a Nintendo IP.
I know they published it, but I thought the people that
it is a
owned
Nintendo IP. No, it's a Nintendo IP.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, they own it.
I was gonna say Mario Baseball, but I completely agree with that. If not that, do you think that they would do another Chibi Robo game?
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Oh, man, I would love that. The problem with the Chibi Robo series is it's never had the same type of gameplay style, and I think that's what's killed that series, is because every single Chibi Robo game is something different gameplay style, and that's why it's never been a hit, because it's a different type of audience they go for each game. But I think a remastered Chibi Robo, I don't know if they would do a new Chibi Robo game, because I think that
remastered Ziplash.
I don't think the company that makes Chibi Robo is in business anymore, because I believe Ziplash was like a make or break for them, I believe is what they said, and unfortunately Ziplash was not the hit they were expecting. But
break.
Nintendo has been outsourcing their IPs a lot recently to other companies. Like Advance Wars was done through Way Forward. So, and I think this new Princess Peach game, that was actually done from a different developer completely. So I could see Nintendo wanting them to do a re-release of the first Chibi Robo game, especially since it's GameCube and they're really focused on that GameCube library. I think that's a good idea, especially. I mean, I wouldn't mind a new Chibi Robo game. I think Chibi Robo deserves one more solid chance, but an actual good game. You know.
I agree. And I thought with like all the games that they've been reviving, that maybe there's a chance. But what do I know?
It's fair enough. Fair enough. Itachi, you're up.
Okay. So things I want to touch on that you guys said. Real quick, the Peach game, I think that was made by the Crafted World team. Yours is Crafted World and Woolly World.
Oh,
that was them.
I thought it was the team that did that. Our YouTube fellow friend of the channel, Dingus, sent me this game, this Japan game, because he went to Japan.
I think the director made that one, or the director directed Peach, but I think that the whole team was like the Crafted World team. I could be wrong though. I wanted to mention that because that's what I had heard. I'll throw my prediction that I'll go with though is going back to the GameCube one. We are gonna get some type of GameCube release, so GameCube mention. Without fail, every major direct since the beginning of last year has had it. We started with Metroid Prime Remastered, then we had Pikmin 1 and 2, and then we had Thousand Year Door remake, right? So we have always had one without fail. We haven't had a major direct yet this year. It's very, very difficult to see or to choose what it would be. Something that I think would be great is a lot of people aren't very excited for how Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon HD is or Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is looking. Like it looks like a very low effort remaster or like up-res thing. I think something that would soften the blow a bit or make it a little bit better is if they, similar to Pikmin 1 and 2, if they ported Luigi's Mansion 1 and Shadow dropped it at the direct right before Luigi's Mansion 2 comes out.
I would like the Luigi's Mansion 1 on the Switch, just due to the fact that when that dropped on the 3DS, I remember when that came out, everyone was like, why did they not put this on Switch? This is such a Switch title that should have came out for the Switch. And then when we saw the Luigi's Mansion reveal, like we saw footage, if I remember how the game was revealed last year, they showed footage of some Luigi's Mansion and like they made it look like it could be the first game, and then you found out it was actually Dark Moon HD. I remember everyone being disappointed once again, being like, why was this not the first Luigi's Mansion game once again? And that's going to be a big missed opportunity if they don't put the first game, because that's ultimately what I think people want. I didn't see a lot of people begging for Dark Moon to come to Switch.
No, Dark Moon is...
If they did put the first one, you could make the argument that the Switch has all three of the Luigi's Mansion games. Coleman's a big fan of making those comparisons of how many Switch games, like, you know, how we could have all the Xenoblade games almost on the Switch.
Xenoblade X, then we'll have all the Xenoblade games on the Switch.
He makes these jokes all the time. He'll be like, if we get Kirby Dreamland 1, 2, and 3, we'll have all the Kirby games.
Splatoon 1, then we'll have all the Splatoon games on the Switch.
And I think that argument could really be used for Luigi's Mansion 1. So I hope that comes to the Switch. That would be a nice one. Now it's back to me. Now, like I said, I'm making strategic plays here on my list. I'm not really going crazy here. I mean, I guess Eternal Darkness sounds crazy, but I feel like I made a lot of reasonings as to why that could actually happen. So, for my next one on my list, I wrote this down before this got leaked. I just want this to be said. I had this all planned out, and now it's coming out, so I'm annoyed that we didn't get to record this before the leaks. But it's being reported that there is going to be another 2D Zelda game coming out. And I wrote that down on my list because, like I said before, Nintendo is not going to do anything like super crazy for the second half if it was something that could really sell for the Switch 2. You're not going to get your Donkey Kong 3D game, your next 3D Mario game. Nintendo is saving all the big hits for this next Nintendo console. And I was looking at some of the teams that haven't come out with anything for a while in terms of the Switch. And I think the Link's Awakening team has definitely made something else for the Switch. And I could see another 2D Zelda game. I feel like 2D Zelda, in terms of the Link's Awakening style, it's a big enough release to not have on the Switch 2 and big enough to sell some units for the Switch this year. And there's reports that this 2D Zelda game is in development. It's actually going to be a Zelda game. Like, the main character will be Zelda. You're playing as Zelda. I don't know about that. I just wrote down that the 2D Zelda game will be here. It'll be shown off, and that will actually be Nintendo's holiday game for this year, is this 2D Zelda game. So, I don't know what they could do. I know when I initially wrote this, I had the idea of them doing something with the four sword characters. That's kind of what my idea was. Implement online somehow. Kind of like a Triforce Heroes, if it was actually good, though. That's kind of what my mindset was at the time. But it sounds like it's going to be a full-on Zelda game, if we're to believe the leaks. Ty, you're up.
Yeah, I like the Zelda. I had Zelda too, but
I think you've actually predicted this Zelda game almost every video. I think
I'm pretty sure because I think it's because the Link's Awakening was kind of what sold me on buying a Switch for the first time, because I was late to the Switch. I was out of gaming for a little bit, and it was that E3 with Link's Awakening that actually convinced me to buy my first Switch and my second Switch at the same time. But yeah, I like your thought of the. I think we might hear about the big holiday release. I'm nervous to say that in June, but I think we might. And I still think there's going to be like a 2D Donkey Kong game. They've been pushing Donkey Kong, like teasing Donkey Kong, and so in my actual like prediction, I have either a 2D Donkey Kong or a 2D Kirby game coming out for holiday.
Ooh.
And I don't know which it would be. I haven't heard anything about Kirby, but nothing's been on the Kirby front for a while. But I think either one of those franchises could be seen as, like a November release. But I don't know if June's too early to announce anything like that. So I'm not holding my breath, but I think you're right that there needs to be something big for holiday this year, and I think we might see it in June. So Zelda, Donkey Kong, Kirby, one of their top 5 franchises will have a release before Christmas.
It's interesting you bring up Kirby. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, but I do want to bring this up in case this somehow ends up being revealed. At the time of recording this video, about a week ago, Nintendo actually renewed the trademark for Kirby and the Rainbow Curse. Now, this probably means nothing because Nintendo does that a lot of the times, but just interesting to have that trademark happening so close to a direct happening with this second half of so many games coming out potentially. And especially that's one of the few Wii U games that has not hit the Switch yet, so that could be one that Nintendo looks at as like, this would not be a Switch 2 system seller, so let's put this out for the second half. I don't know. I wouldn't mind that. I think it'd be cool to play that game. All right, Coleman, you're up.
I think they're gonna release the Fire Emblem 4 remake.
I forgot about that.
I don't even. When did Engage come out?
Last January.
Oh, then yeah, I think they'll have a new one. I mean, it's been done for a while, right? Wasn't that the leak?
Yeah, there's a code. So there was a data mine when they were looking to Engage's like project title. Every Fire Emblem has the same project title but with a different number. Apparently there is a number between Three Houses and Engage that, like, let's just say Three Houses is 17 and Engage is 19. We still don't know what 18 was.
I see. Okay.
I don't know the exact numbers though.
I mean that's a big title to have also for that second half. With it being a remake, maybe Nintendo looks at that and doesn't want that to be a Switch 2 title. They would rather that the Switch 2 Fire Emblem game be a new entry in the series rather than a remake. I'm like strategic Max right now. That's what I'm looking at in this video. I'm gonna be smart this video, guys. No crazy predictions from me. I like the idea of Fire Emblem. Do what?
Strategic Max, really?
Yeah, that's what we're going with. Strategic Max here. You know, it's no longer MONADO Max in this video. It's Strategic Max. As Strategic Max, my brain's communicating with myself. I like that idea, Coleman. I think that makes sense for the Nintendo business path. As a strategic person as myself, I could see that happening for this later half of the Nintendo Switch library. Now, Hitachi, you're up. I have a feeling you're going to throw something at us that very unexpected. I just want to throw that out there.
Okay, yeah. So this one is a little weird, but it's also.
You see, I was right. Strategic Max is a real thing.
It's a little weird, but there's a method to the madness, right? Okay. So, ever since the Wii U, every few years we do get a new Warriors game. And I think it's about time, since Three Hopes released 2 years ago, and it would be very cool if they do take a new franchise like Xenoblade or Star Fox or something. But I think to keep up with a quick dev cycle and it being the end of the Switch's lifespan, to not use up too many resources after Three Hopes, I think they're gonna go back to Zelda for a third Hyrule Warriors game. And it's gonna be similar to Age of Calamity, but instead of it taking place between in the Breath of the Wild's past, I think it's gonna take place in Zelda's perspective, when she was with the Zonai in the past, and with like King Rauru and all of them. I think that is where this Hyrule Warriors would take place.
I like that a lot. That, you know, if that was a Hyrule Warriors game that's coming out, that would be one of those things where history repeats itself. Because I remember when 2020 Age of Calamity got revealed, that was literally like the most unexpected thing that got announced. There was like nothing, no leaks, nothing about it, and I think Nintendo just woke up in the morning and just decided to drop that trailer, and I see that happening too. I don't know. That'd be fun. I like that idea a lot.
I love the idea. I wonder if they would hold it off for the Switch 2 just for performance.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
But I love that idea. Because remember there was all the rumors that you would play both as Link and Zelda when all the early Tears of the Kingdom stuff, and everyone got all excited about playing as Zelda in a Breath of the Wild style. But I think that could be. I mean, I know you could in Age of Calamity, but still, like that perspective at that time, we didn't get any of that time frame in Tears of the Kingdom other than cutscenes. So
yeah, we only saw them through the tier memories. So
yeah.
Okay, that puts me back at me. So this is Strategic Max coming out once again. I'm throwing something out there, but hear me out. I'm about to make it make sense, and y'all are about to be like, "Wow, Max might actually be right here." All right, so obviously, last September we had the announcement of F-Zero 99. It was a shadow dropped release. Everyone's loving F-Zero 99. It is still going strong. I expect to see F-Zero 99 here at this Nintendo Direct, but it's going to be a little bit different than what you're expecting. They're going to announce that paid DLC is coming to F-Zero 99 in the same way that Tetris 99 had paid DLC. But you want to know what's going to go crazy even more? What they're going to reveal right here, right now at this Nintendo Direct for the second half of this year. One of you were supposed to say what?
what Max?
Sorry, what?
They're going to announce F-Zero 99 is a physical copy game that has all the DLC on cartridge with 1 year of Nintendo Switch Online included for $30.
Yeah, I can see that happening. They did the same thing with Tetris 99.
And it's going to happen right here, this Nintendo Direct.
Okay.
Strategic Max, man. Strategic Max. And then I don't think this is going to happen, but we'll throw this in here just in case. You know, I could be like, I predicted this, but I don't think this is going to happen. F-Zero GX Shadow Drop release right there, right then and there.
Yeah.
And,
I thought you were about to say F-Zero GX 99. I was like, oh.
No, yeah. F-Zero GX remastered.
Actually,
I mean that is or not F-Zero GX 99. Hopefully that's not a thing. F-Zero GX has supposedly been already done since last year. Retro Studios has apparently made it, similar to how they did Metroid Prime Remastered. But I don't know. I feel like they're going to focus on F-Zero 99 more, and if F-Zero GX was there, I think that would overshadow F-Zero 99. Yeah. All right, Ty, you're up.
Yeah, I'm torn on all the F-Zero stuff because I thought they were gonna do a new F-Zero and they dropped 99, and I feel like I think that was a test, and I'm guessing that it didn't. It probably didn't meet their expectations, so maybe they'll do. I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a GX or something. I like the angle of GameCube re-releases. Or the easy remasters. I think we're gonna have a lot of remasters in the last part. I keep staring at this Nintendogs gif from Itachi, and I can't get it out of my head now. I'm gonna go outside though, and I think as we're talking about remasters, I'm gonna go outside Nintendo. I think we're gonna get something big. I think Sega wants to be a part of this, and I think Sega, I'm a Dreamcast fan. I would love something from the Dreamcast era to be made on the Switch right now. And Sega, if I've learned anything, is they go where the money is and where the install base is, and I would not be surprised if we get some retro Sega remake, something from the Dreamcast era coming this year on the Switch.
I don't
know what it'd be. I would love like a Sonic Adventure or a Jet Set Radio or something like. Oh no, they already announced Jet Set Radio is coming back, but if we see something from that, because Sega did tease like Crazy Taxi, like all that stuff, like a year ago.
Yeah.
In that video, I wouldn't be surprised if they use this as a relaunch, like a reminder time for that, and I think that the Switch is the perfect platform for that. Before, while there's so many people with Switches, something from the Dreamcast era.
I would love for them to remaster Sonic Adventure on modern consoles. I don't understand why
I get so many comments about like, dude, the PC version of Sonic Adventure is such trash. Like
it is.
I just don't understand.
I've never played the PC version, and so I don't get how it's so bad, like the Steam version.
I just don't understand why they have not re-released Sonic Adventure yet. That seems to be like the most easy money possible from Sega.
Yeah,
I know it's not going to happen.
There's so much. There's nothing and also the Shenmue Steam ports are, I guess, not good either. Like it seems like they're just like leaving this, and there's like, I think there's a dedicated fan base. I think that something from the Dreamcast, either remastered or remade. I would love to see something like that. I don't know, it's a long shot, but I had Sega / Dreamcast on here, so
fair enough. All right, Coleman, you are up.
I think they're gonna do a combined package with Metroid Prime and 2, a Prime 2 and 3.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I think they're just gonna be ports though.
Yeah,
not remasters.
Okay, fair enough. Since we're talking about Metroid, I'm going to throw in my Metroid thing, because I did write something Metroid down. Now, this is Strategic Max coming out here. Strategic Max. Now, I actually, looking at Nintendo's history right now, as a strategic person as myself, I'm looking at their release calendar. It doesn't make sense to have Prime 2 or Prime 3. I think we're past that point, because it just strategically does not make sense. But you know what strategically makes sense, guys?
Metroid Prime 4.
No, you were supposed to say what? not Metroid Prime 4. As I was saying, what strategically makes sense, guys, is they're going to remaster something completely different from the Metroid series. They're going to remaster Metroid Samus Returns for the Nintendo Switch. It is going to come out this year. It'll be either a remake or remaster. It's going to look really good for the Switch. I believe the team that did Metroid Dread, they are already said to be working on something. They didn't say what, of course. I could see it being some sort of remastered game. I feel like Samus Returns would not take as long as a brand new Metroid game. And I think, once again, Strategic Max, looking at this lineup, calendar, stuff that's coming out this year, I think this would be a perfect game to have for the Switch rather than the Switch 2. As Samus Returns remake is something people have really wanted since it was announced for the 3DS back in 2017. That was one of those releases that people was like, why is this not coming to Switch? Well, it's going to come to Switch, and it's going to be announced right here. Strategic Max coming out right now. All right, Tachi, you're up.
All right, so I'm gonna take a page out of your book and talk about.
Wait! A strategic Itachi? Strategic Itachi's coming out?
Yeah. So, ever since 2012, a specific game series has been going on a strict 3-year development cycle, with a release coming out every 3 years on a home console, and that is the Mario Party series.
Oh.
So in 2012, it was Mario Party 9. 2015 was Mario Party 10. 2018 was Super Mario Party. 2021 was Mario Party Superstars. I was championing Superstars DLC because it just made sense. But Nintendo doesn't like to make sense sometimes, so it's very possible that they do another Mario Party game to end off the Switch lifespan. They're no stranger to releasing Mario Parties at the end of life cycles, and I think this is no different. It could be a Superstars 2, this time maybe focusing on the GameCube games. It could be a completely new Mario Party, or they could do Super Mario Party 2 for some reason, because that one is the one that sold more. But there's a lot of different things that they could do, and I do think we can get something Mario Party related this year.
That is a very good prediction, because someone that's strategic just as yourself, Itachi, I also had Mario Party on my list.
Oh, okay, cool.
But what I had was something completely random. I think they're going to go Mario Party 11, because why not?
Oh, man.
They're going to return to the cart, because that's everyone's favorite thing right there. They're gonna make this the worst Mario Party game of all time. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Everyone's gonna love it. Maybe they'll announce some new amiibos with it too. But that throws me back to me for my final prediction here. I have something that I think, as Strategic Max comes out once again, the final time for this video, because I'm going to put this hat away. Strategic Max probably never going to come back after this video.
Thank God.
Wow. Especially when everyone comes to me and be like, wow, Strategic Max was right. He had everything correct in this Nintendo Direct. I think that the Nintendo Direct is going to wrap up with their big one more announcement. And is going to be finally more... I don't know if they'll show gameplay of this or not, but they're going to show Metroid Prime 4. It's going to end with Metroid Prime 4. The thing that I think is going to be interesting, I think it's safe to say this is definitely not coming out this year. I think it's be an early next year title. I don't know if they're going to flat out say that this is a cross-hybrid game yet, because I feel like it's also safe to say that Prime 4 is going to be for the Switch and Switch 2 at this point.
Yeah.
I know Nintendo did tell the investors that there would be no mention of the Switch 2 in the next Nintendo Direct, though. So I don't know. I don't know if this would break rules if they care about that. But Prime 4, I think, is going to wrap up the Direct. I feel like they'll show gameplay. They're going to show a lot more things, enough to make people satisfied with the wait.
So the thing with that is, and I completely agree that Metroid Prime 4 is time. But do you think there is any chance that, because I don't think it'll find too much success as a launch title for Switch 2. Do you think there's any chance it does actually release this holiday and there's a patch for a Switch 2 version next year when it comes out?
No. I don't.
If
You
this
think- you
game
think it's
was,
just,
if this game would have been shown off earlier this year, I would have been like, yeah, I think you might be right, Itachi. But the fact that we still have not gotten anything, I feel like Nintendo would have already shown more about this if this was to come out this year.
Yeah, it's just like scary to me because like, I mean, we'll talk about this probably when we do predictions for the Switch 2, but I'm pretty sure we're launching with them a 3D Mario.
That's what I think too.
I don't think they want to launch with a 3D Mario and a Metroid Prime 4. Like, I think that's like kind of killing Metroid Prime 4. I'm really worried about that game in terms of how they're going to position it.
Well, I feel like
Really worried about that.
I feel like if it comes out this year, it kind of. I think people would be disappointed if it came out this year, honestly, because Metroid Prime 4 is the perfect game to test the limits of this next hardware.
Yeah.
But I also think it's possible Nintendo launches 2 games next year with the system. But I also think Nintendo is going to attempt to make their 2017 lineup happen again, which was basically releasing first-party game almost every single month for the Switch. And it was all big releases. And I think Metroid Prime 4, if it doesn't become a launch title, it's going to be within the first 3 months of the system. And I think it'll sell very well, just due to the fact that I expect Nintendo to continue that cycle that they did last year, or not last year, when the Switch originally came out, because everything that dropped in 2017 sold really well because everyone was hungry for Switch games. And I think people will be hungry for first-party Nintendo games next year for this next hardware. And I think Prime 4, if it comes out on the Switch 2, within the first year of the Switch 2, it is going to do excellent numbers. It'll be the biggest Metroid Prime, or biggest Metroid game in general in terms of sale numbers, because that will probably be a lot of people's first entry into the series, because they're going to buy it because they want Switch 2 games, and there won't be many Switch 2 games in that first year yet. So, I don't know. Yep. I think there's a lot of possibility there. We'll definitely do a Switch 2 prediction video in a few months for those that are curious about it.
That'll be really fun.
We'll do a whole thing. I just want to wait till we know the official name of the console. And
it's the Switch Pro.
Yeah. Yeah. No. All right, Ty, you're up.
Okay, I have a bunch of rebuttals because a lot has happened since the last time I talked. I think Metroid Prime 4 is going to be the big launch title. I think you're right, Max, that they want to recreate the launch of the Switch, where they had a secondary title as the launch title, which I think Metroid Prime 4 is perfectly set up as the launch. I think it will be cross-gen. I think there will be a Switch version and a successor to the Switch version. And then I think the 3D Mario game is going to be fall at the earliest. And I think they want to recreate that release because Mario games are perfect for late year releases. I think that's how they're going to set it up.
One thing I want to add on. One thing. It's funny you mentioned that because according to leaks, when the Switch was first coming out, Mario Odyssey was actually already done.
Yeah. Way
before the Switch even came out. So I think what you're saying has a lot of stock into it happening.
That's been my stance for a while. I think as soon as we stopped hearing anything about Metroid Prime 4, not as soon as, but like after 4 years, I figured this is going to be they're setting this up to be the launch for the next Switch. And then your point about the Metroid remake, I think not Samus Returns. I think they're gonna do a Metroid 1 Zero Mission style remake because we just got Samus Returns. You know what? I mean, it was 7
years ago.
But
I mean, trust me, it does feel like it was yesterday. I know how you feel.
But a Game Boy Advance and an NES remake of Metroid 1. I think in the Metroid Dread style would be even more impactful, setting up for the release of Metroid Prime 4. I think that was my prediction, was actually a Metroid 1 remake. My dumb Nintendo thing that I think they're gonna do, I would not be surprised if they announce a special edition Switch OLED console. To clear stock and get all of us that can't contain ourselves. And I don't know what it would be, what IP it would be, but I would not be surprised if we get one more Switch special edition before the end of the year, and that could be the end announcement. Like, we're doing whatever the big reveal is for something coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would not put it past Nintendo to try to get everyone to buy one more Switch console.
The one thing I will say about that is there's always a Black Friday bundle for the Switch. They have never, at least from my understanding, I might be wrong about this, I don't think they've ever done a Black Friday bundle for the OLED yet. And maybe they implement a Black Friday special edition OLED bundle because, like you said, they fully expect to be the #1 best-selling console by the end of this year. They gotta sell 15 million units somehow, and a special edition makes sense to push out Switch copies. Or
I think they had a Smash OLED last year. Like, they had the Smash Joy-Con.
Oh yeah, you are right. I didn't know that was
I think it was an OLED. I think it was, I don't know for sure.
Okay then. All right. Well, maybe they'll repeat history and do something completely different. I don't know. I don't know, but a special edition Switch, probably another Zelda Switch. If there's a Zelda game coming out this year, or a Metroid or Zelda Switch is what I would think. One of those two. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Metroid. Metroid. Metroid would be good if they're doing some Metroid stuff lining up for next year. Because there's never been a Metroid special edition.
Correct. Which I feel like the OLED when it first came out, the white one, I feel like was a Metroid Dread special edition. They just didn't want to call it a Metroid Dread special edition because it came out the same day as Metroid Dread, the Nintendo Switch OLED. And you know how Metroid Dread's colors, at least what I like to think, is the white. I feel like that's the big thing of Metroid Dread is, like you said, the Emmy is white. I don't know. And I feel like the Metroid Dread game was their big marketing push for the Switch OLED. But either way, I would love that. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't love that because I don't want to buy another Switch. So don't give them any ideas, Ty. Coleman?
Strategic technology.
Oh, yeah, strategic technology. Okay, we had strategic Itachi, we had strategic technology. Coleman, I know you got strategic Coleman in you. Give us something strategic here.
Well, I mean, if you want strategic, I don't really have any more Nintendo predictions. I think it's going to be a very bland direct with not much to show for. But
I didn't say be a bummer about it though.
Okay, all right, bro. Well, I'm being strategic, okay? Am I allowed to do third-party predictions?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I threw one out.
I think that the Final Fantasy Tactics remaster that was leaked on the Nvidia thing years ago will be here.
Okay, that's cool.
I think that's been worked on for way too long. I don't know what's taking them so long. Maybe it ended up like the Dragon Quest remake, but I mean, I think that will be here.
It's funny that you bring that up because that just reminded me that I need to update my Nevada graphics card.
Oh, I do too. I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Okay. All right.
Do it while you're recording. It'll mess it up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can do it though.
I got you. Okay. I don't keep up with the Nevada leaks, so that's all on you guys. I don't know anything about that. Itachi, you're up.
So, no Silksong. I think Silksong belongs to Microsoft in terms of marketing, because they got the Game Pass deal. So I'm gonna say no Silksong. I'm gonna say Dragon Quest 3 Remake is making a return. I've been doing that the last few times. Broken Clock is right at least once. So Dragon Quest 3 Remake, and then my actual ones that I think, this one is also one that has been predicted multiple times in the last few videos. For Zelda, where's Wind Waker and Twilight Princess?
Yeah.
We're missing those.
I had that too.
So, but to be a little different this time, just for the sake of being a little different, they'll do Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and they'll also throw in Link's crossbow training.
What? What?
They'll throw in Link's
Itachi, this is crazy.
So they'll do that, and then the last thing, this one is really out there, but I think it's still plausible, and it gave me the idea based off of Endless Ocean. So we saw Endless Ocean's Luminous get announced at the partner showcase last time, and I think we're gonna see a revival of an IP that's been extremely long dormant. It's been dormant for a very long time, and I don't know if it would be a new game or if it would be a remake of the second game, and that is Red Steel. I think Red Steel 2 could get remade, or that they could do a Red Steel 3. And I got the idea just because I saw Endless Ocean Luminous.
What is that?
Red Steel. It was made by Ubisoft. I think it is a Ubisoft IP. And it basically utilized like the motion controls and pointer controls. It was like a shooting and like sword game, where you like, it's like a hack and slash shooter. Cross, but it utilized the pointer. Yeah. It utilized the motion and pointer, and I think that Red Steel 1 was really bad, but Red Steel 2 was really good. So I think that they could just remake Red Steel 2 or make a new one.
I thought you were gonna say Nintendogs. I'm shocked.
I thought about it. I thought about it.
Well, that's my prediction. I think there's gonna be a new Nintendogs. It'll be Nintendogs, cat, and birds.
You know what?
Let's do.
I feel like I need to also say one thing about, since we're doing repeats of predictions that have never happened and probably won't happen. I gotta do it one last time. I gotta make this prediction one last time. This is not strategic, Max. This is not strategic, Max. So I don't want anybody to be like, Max predicted this and it didn't happen in the last Nintendo Direct.
You're scared.
However, if it does happen, then you could go ahead and call me strategic, Max, for this play here. Fallout 4 for Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
You are a coward. Years of silence, and you go back to it.
I haven't done.
The Fallout just came out.
I haven't done Fallout 4 in a few years, but that used to be the going joke of mine. I would always have Fallout 4 because I really thought that was going to come to the Switch. I will say Fallout 3 has been leaked to come to modern consoles like a year ago. So who knows?
They're gonna do that just to piss you off.
Yeah. Okay. Anything y'all want to say before? I mean, we'll do our outros, of course. But any last predictions that y'all want to say before we do our outro?
What if Nintendo was just tricking us in the investor meeting, and they actually do announce it in June?
That'd be great, but they
no, I know they're not. I know they're not.
But
strategic tie right now. This is
yeah, exactly.
This is crazy.
One more thing. Just kidding. No, they wouldn't do that because that was an investor meeting. That wasn't a marketing thing.
As someone that is a strategic person and was definitely there at that investors meeting, they definitely won't do that, Ty. Because all my strategic plays, I get invited to all these investor meetings now because, but I am Strategic Max. I am going to go back to Monado Max now. Hi, guys. I'm back. I hope you guys enjoyed Strategic Max. We need to do our outros. So, Ty, do your outro, man. Tell us where they can find you. Tell us what you do. Tell us everything.
No, I'm everywhere. I'm YouTube, Technology Gaming, also on Instagram, X. I also have the Technology brand, which is more lifestyle technology stuff. But Technology Gaming on YouTube, that's where I'm putting out most content. I do a lot of retro, a lot of Dreamcast stuff because that blew up. And I just modded a Game Boy with the new OLED screen, and that was fun. But yeah, come say hi. Tell me that Max sent you.
Coleman, I know you don't do YouTube, or at least not anymore, but feel free to shout out whatever you want to shout out right here, right now, Editor Coleman.
You can find me in real life. My name is Trent. What's up, guys? Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. Hey, if you guys see Trent out in the public, take a photo, say Monado Max sent you.
Don't do that.
Okay. All right. Itachi, you got a lot of expectations to wrap us up here after Coleman's epic outro right there.
Yeah, you can find me in multiple places, Twitter /X, Itachi Cosplays. Same thing on Twitch. I don't stream that often anymore, but every once in a while I'll pop in there. I'm going to be putting more effort into the YouTube channel, youtube.com/ at Chowtown, Chow from Sonic. Gonna be going back to regular podcast episodes every 2 weeks, and I just graduated from my university, so I'm hoping to start scripting some video essays as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
brother. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Because you've been on this channel for so long, since I think almost the beginning of your masters, right? Or no?
Definitely. I've been I've been here for a while. So
We all grow up. I feel old now. That leads me to me. Wait a second. Wait, did Nintendogs really sell 24 million copies?
Yes, I know. That's why I'm saying there's gonna be a new one.
Coleman, you need to put this gift that Atashi sent us. What?
I am.
What?
People gotta know this is a bigger IP than Zelda.
What?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
Dogs, cats, and birds. I'm telling you.
Wow, I'm so thrown off. I was about to do the outro, and then I just saw this gift that everyone's been talking about. Now I'm looking at it. I'm like, wait a second, what? Wow. Okay.
It's strategic, Max. Are you gonna say that there's gonna be a new Nintendogs?
Maybe for the Switch 2. Maybe for the Switch
Oh,
2.
it's a launch title. Okay.
No, not
I
a
like
launch
it.
title. Not the launch title. Okay, alright, let's get back to the important thing, the outro. We've been talking for way too much, because we clearly have, because now we're talking about Nintendogs cell numbers. So we need to shut up and end this video. So make sure to backslash that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment with your own predictions of what's going to happen. Let us know what you think is going to happen, what is going to be wrong that all of us predicted, because we love seeing those type of comments. And check out the Twitter, Discord server, whatever else is in the description, Instagram. I'm actually starting to post more on Instagram. I'm pretty proud of myself for that, you know. I prefer Twitter, but, you know, Instagram, I always make funny photos, or not funny, I make quality photos. Strategic photos, one would say. Anyways, we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
So wait, Nintendo Dogs really sold 24 million copies?
Yeah, Nintendogs went crazy.